The following is a sponsored program paid for by Yaba TV.
Welcome to our lovely show, the Yaba TV show. I am your host, Sia. Today our topic is setting goals. We have so much to share with you because I have two wonderful guests that will be sharing with you how they feel about this topic, setting goals. Maybe you or someone you know can relate to that, and maybe you may want to be a guest on our show. So you don't want to touch your dial because we have so much to share with you. I have Clint Johnson, and I also have Rhonda Bankston. She is a woman with a lot of story, beautiful story to tell you that will really inspire you. And Clint D. Johnson, if you like artwork, drawing, and all of that stuff, you will have a moment to see all of that and so much more. So you are in for a treat. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors about our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to our beautiful show. My name is Sia, your host. Today we are talking about setting goals. And I know everyone that is watching our television show today, you must somehow, somewhere set a goal in order to accomplish what you set to accomplish. So my guest on today's show is Clint Johnson. He's going to tell us all what he knows about setting goals and much more. Clint, welcome to the show.
Sia, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. The first thing I like to do is get the formalities out of the way. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Clint D. Johnson, and I am a native of Los Angeles, California. I am an artist, writer, book publisher. I'm doing a lot of things in the creative realm. My personal tagline is I'm creative to the core.
Creative to the core. I like that. So when I talk about setting goals, what comes to mind?
For me, the first thing that comes to mind is really being organized. You know, you have this thing you want to do, whether it's the next book or the next story. You have to go, I'm going to start in January, but say maybe my goal is to be ready by the summer. So then I personally take the calendar and I just divide it up to where I can manage my time to get that job done. That's what I do primarily.
Talking about getting the job done, let's talk about your business.
Okay.
And the important thing that I want to know, I know it's something that is really important to you, and I want to call it very important also to me, because what's important to my clients, I take it very important as well. Passion is something important for you. Let's talk about that.
So, I can't talk for anyone else, but for me, if I'm not feeling it, then I'm probably not going to do it. I've been blessed to the perspective where I have the artistic ability, and it excites me, like working with you if we're going to design a new image for your business or any of my clients for that matter, or if I'm working on my Faith Walker story. I'm excited about it. It's what I want to do. Like they say, if you do something that you really love, it's like you're not working. Well, I exist in that space. It's like, he's a big kid having fun. Well, because I'm passionate about the work that I do, and that will motivate me to keep going.
Tell us about some of the work that you've done in the past.
So, under the Clint D. Johnson Illustration and Design, I design logo designs assisting companies with their branding. I've done book covers and children's books and a number of things. I'm probably best known for my publishing efforts, and that would be the Faith Walker comic book character, which I publish under Christian Action Heroes. With that, we've gone from comic strip. We've actually done an animation, and we have several books that we have actually on the market. And it's amazing. It's just amazing.
Who are your targets?
So with the Faith Walker content, primarily, we're targeting a faith-based audience, predominantly Christian youth and their parents, those who are young and young at heart. So it would be similar to a Batman or a Spider-Man, except there is a definite spiritual theme written into the storyline. So Say you can't get little Johnny or Sally to open up their Bible. Maybe you can get them to open up a comic book and still get spiritual edification.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So for someone, a youngster watching the show today that want to be like you, I want to be like Clint, what advice would you give them?
I would advise them, find out what you love to do. If you want to be like Clint, get lost in your craft, learn it, understand it, and then practice it. It's not enough to just want to do it. You have to apply yourself. We usually have more than we think we have, you know. If you got two hands and you can grab yourself some art supplies on a blank sheet of paper, you can begin to build, you can begin to create. Kids have an advantage. They have cell phones. They can make their own videos now, you know, as we see them doing. Mm-hmm. You can create your own music studio at home. So you have to have that desire, and you have to have what my grandpa would call gumption. You got to get up and go do it.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say is the downside of this career? And the upside, of course, we're going to talk more on that, but what's the downside?
The downside, functioning as an artist, it can be a very isolated career move. You don't necessarily need a team unless the project requires a team. So unless you're comfortable being in your own little cubby hole, and if you just need to talk to people, you might be lonely. And it requires a lot of self-discipline, because now you're being self-supervised to get a project done. So I see those clearly as a downside. I don't buy into what society says about a starving artist, because an artist created your outfit, an artist created mine, an artist created this giraffe, an artist created your backdrop. So I don't listen to, oh, artists don't. No, artists do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So what would you like to tell an artist who is probably in a limbo as to, am I going to stay in this career, or should I get out? Should I quit and start something new?
Well, I think you have to follow your heart and balance it with what it's going to take for you to live. There's nothing wrong with, say, working what we're going to call a 9-to-5, if that's going to be a bridge for you to get to what your actual goal is. Mm-hmm. If it's your goal to be an artist in a gallery, or a goal like myself to have your work published, or you're a writer and you want to do a screenplay or a movie, you still need your stability. But again, we live in a world where the gatekeepers don't exist like they used to. Again, if you can get on social media and, as they say, build your troops or gather your tribe, get enough people who believe and support you, you can support yourself, because people are doing it every day. Mm-hmm. Just go for what you believe in. Educate yourself along the way. You got a phone, you got Google, you got the world's biggest encyclopedia, you got the world's biggest classroom. Look it up, learn it, go get it.
Interesting. Look at our camera and tell the viewers how they can reach you.
So I can be reached at clintdjohnson.com, and my phone number is 323-252-1502, and on almost all the social media platforms is going to be Clint D. Johnson in some variation or other.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any one word that you can say that they can remember today about you?
One word. Perseverance. One
I like
word.
that, perseverance.
Perseverance.
And that's the only way you can get things done.
Yes.
And I did it, perseverance. I'm sure you can tell.
Yes.
It's a word that is very powerful, and if you put it to action, you can get good results.
Yes.
Well, I do want to thank you for taking the time to come on our show. We wish you continuous success to your business.
Thank you.
Coming up, we are going to talk to Rhonda Bankston. She's going to tell you all what she knows about setting goals. So you are in for something really special on our show, the Yaba TV show. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. I am your host, Sia. Today we are talking about setting goals. We had Clint Johnson, who gave us his opinion about setting goals, and now we have Rhonda Bankston, who is going to give us all what she knows about setting goals. Rhonda, it's a pleasure to have you on our show.
Sia, thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome.
I'm honored.
You're looking beautiful.
Thank you. You as well. You look
Thank you.
fabulous.
Thank you. So, Rhonda, tell us, our audience, a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Rhonda Bankston. I'm a registered nurse 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm originally from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I'm a Southern girl.
Mm.
Came to Los Angeles 21 years ago just to do a temporary nursing assignment.
And you fell in love with California.
Fell in love and still here. Still here.
Oh, wow.
And it has been nothing but blessings.
That's good. Do you go back home?
I do. I go home quite often. My mother, my child, grandkids, all at home. So yes, I go home at least 6 or 7 times a year, depending on what's going on.
Ooh, the airplanes are making money.
Yes, they are. They are.
Uh-huh.
But as far as what I do, being a registered nurse 30 years has been my passion because I love people. But I'm an actress. The acting has just been picking up 40 going north.
What's hurting you? If you start crying, I'll give in, and I won't be able to stop. Long story short, Pastor should have kept his mouth shut. That's all. That's it.
Just had a premiere this week, a movie that will be coming out called Triumphant, and one that's coming out, and these are all in the theater, and I'm excited. Fragile Heart.
So you're wearing so many hats.
I do.
Registered nurse,
I do.
actress,
Wrote a book.
author, all of that.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I love it. Love clothes and fashion.
So if someone comes to you and say, Rhonda, I'm setting goals for success, but I'm a little bit in a limbo, what would you tell them?
I tell people, write your goals down. I get up every morning at 4 a.m. with my prayer and writing my goals. Write the vision, make it plain. And God will start sending people to you. Those goals start manifesting. Doors start opening. And you just see it happening. But if you're sort of all over the place, and sometimes people who don't know me think I tend to be, then when they say, Miss Rhonda, I saw you on this, I saw you on that, it starts with my prayer and me writing my goals and believing.
And with action too.
Yes.
You're not just praying and believing that God
Yes.
is going to bring it to pass. Like some people that want to get a job, they have resume, but they've not gone anywhere to submit their resume. But they keep praying that God is going to give me a good job. I'm believing. And don't get me wrong, God does answer prayer.
Yes. Yes.
But you got to put some action. Faith without action is dead. That's what the
So
Bible
true.
says too,
Yes.
correct?
You are so correct.
So let's talk about family values. When you were growing up, what was your family values like?
Well, for us, God first, education. I grew up with my parents, mom and dad. My mother was an educator, and my dad, who's now passed away, worked in a factory. But in our home was my maternal grandparents and that extended family, and I'm a middle kid. I grew up between 2 boys. So for us as values, things like education, my family instilled that in us. Follow your dreams, follow your heart. And we've done just that. We were always in church or choir rehearsal or Bible study. And at that time, Sia, I thought it was like, oh, it's a lot. But at this point, I'm thankful for my upbringing. Yes.
So when was the turning point at the time you were growing up? When did you find out you're going to be a registered nurse?
Well, I wanted to go to med school. And I started doing research. I wanted to be a pediatrician, and I saw the way that children were treated at the doctor's office. Now, my doctor, he was amazing. I think at that time we were the only African American kids who went to that pediatrician in our little small town. And he was so loving to us. I said, I could do that. But as I started getting older and time went on, I'm like, oh God, I don't think I want to go to school that long. I thought the military would be a way for me to go to med school. Found out that wasn't the way. So I said, I'm going to change this to nursing. And now that I work with homeless veterans, I'm glad that I chose the route I did. I love being a nurse. I love
Being of service to people.
Yes.
And especially nowadays with this pandemic that we're dealing with, nurses, their skills are very well needed to
Yes.
save lives
Yes.
and to help support lifestyles. So, do you have any moment when you wake up and say, wow, the job that I've chosen or the career I've chosen as a nurse, today is one of those days, it feels like a challenging day, but I'm going to go anyway. Do you feel like that?
See, it's a lot of those days. A lot of those days that it has been challenging. And I feel like some days it gets so uncomfortable that I'm like, it's time for retirement. And I've been checking into retirement so the acting and singing can go full force.
Interesting. I know you wrote a book, correct?
I did.
Let's see a book.
I'm a domestic violence survivor.
Oh, okay.
And my book is called Family Matters.
Domestic violence survivor?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Are you comfortable to talk about that?
Of course I am. Of course I am. I grew up with the young man who drugged me in the street. We grew up in the same neighborhood. And if anyone knows anything about veterans go through a lot of things. His father was a Vietnam era veteran, and I just sort of pay attention. I'm a Pisces and I'm a watcher, so I always watch. His son, who was always, our house was the hangout when we were growing out. This guy, who I thought was so sweet, went to the military, and when he came back, he was a different person. We started dating. And later on, we got married. The marriage did not last. I didn't know that he was a yeller, a screamer. I didn't know that he was a drinker.
You don't know people until you live with them.
Yes. And you're learning every day, even after you live with them. And one Sunday morning, it changed my whole life. He said that nobody leaves him. He had come in late, like 3 o'clock in the morning, beating on the door. The neighbors all turned on their front lights, and I was like, wow. And what made it so strange was he did not seem this way. When he came in, he hit me. He apologized. That went on all Saturday night and all Sunday morning. And that Sunday morning, hot July, I went to church, got dressed like nothing happened, but I had put on so much makeup and so many clothing so people would not see the bruises that I had.
Oh, wow.
And it took me a long
That's
time
sad.
to even decide.
I'm sorry you went through that.
Thank you. It took me a long time to even decide to write the book to share.
And that's what this book is about.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well, look to the camera and tell our viewers where they can find you.
Wow. You can find me at Rhonda Bankston. I'm on all social media. Facebook handle is Rhonda, R-H-O-N-D-A, Bankston. Instagram is Rhonda_Bankston. My YouTube is Rhonda Bankston as well. And email address is babygirlbankston@yahoo.co.uk. And my phone number is 562-230-1183. I would love to hear from you.
Wonderful. I do want to thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us. And I wish you continuous success in your book that you're writing and your actress career and everything that you do as a registered nurse as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We do need to take a quick break to acknowledge our sponsors. And then after that, we are taking you to Africa in Songs, some of the best music videos that you can ever imagine. So don't go away. We'll be back in a moment. We have come to the end of another beautiful show of the Yaba TV show. We are on every Sunday at 4 p.m. right here on KCAL TV. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody you know about our contemporary African show, bridging the cultural divide between Africans and African Americans and bringing you information that you can use in our community. So we have a YouTube channel, Yaba Media. I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and watch some of our past shows. But do me a favor, while you're there, I'd like for you to like, share, and subscribe. That's the only way we can grow, and that's how I know you're enjoying the shows that we bring to you on a Sunday evening at 4 p.m. on KCAL 9. Till then, we will see you next week at the same time on the Yaba TV show, your contemporary bridge to the motherland, Africa.
The proceeding was a sponsored program paid for by Yaba TV.